Hello, hello everyone. It's Thursday, 5 p.m., and I'm live again as promised last week. Today is an amazing hi everyone. So, today, as promised, I will be talking to three amazing artists living across the globe, one from Toronto. Hi, Fiona. Two from US, and we will be chatting and talking about what's going on, how do they feel, how they're still trying to stay positive and create during this hard time. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. So, the first person who I will be talking to is Monica Schulman. She lives in New York, in the state of New York in the US. She's an abstract painter, and she was also a photographer before she started painting. Hi everyone. Hi Maria. Hi Ezra. Hi Robbie. Hi everyone. So many of you here, so I can't see it going down so fast. So let me try and add Monica right now. I'm doing this calling a friend for the first time, so I hope this will work. So let me find. I don't think Monica is live yet, so let's wait for her. So for everyone who is here, I hope you're staying well, staying positive, and enjoying as much as you can this slow time and doing some projects. So Monica is here. Let me call her to this chat.
Hello.
Hello, Monica.
How
How
are
are
you?
you? I'm
I'm great,
good.
thank you. So happy to be here. I'm just setting up my little tripod. I don't know if it's,
Yeah, absolutely.
well, whatever. I'll do the best I can.
So tell us how you've been, how this situation affected you as a human being, as an artist.
Well, it's been very different, very challenging. Guess I can speak for a lot of people, which I've been reading, a lot of people have been having the same feeling that, there are some good days and some not so good days.
Exactly.
I've never been a person who has tried to chase balance because I really have always said that I don't think that true balance really exists. I think that, some days you're able to do a lot and other days, like
Mm-hmm.
some things fall by the wayside. And I think that that's never been more true than it is now for me. Um, you know, I have a lot. Like I'm not going to my studio and my kids are
Yeah.
home and my husband is home trying to work. And so we're all just managing. And I think it has
Mm-hmm.
gotten a little bit easier if for no other reason than we sort of have gotten used to it, like our new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, a lot of gratitude. We're very lucky and privileged that we can stay home and that I can be home with my kids. And so while my studio practice and my work is suffering in that way, there has been a lot of space for other things. I mean, I've always been somebody who has tried to keep a positive mindset, even in moments of hardship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but especially now, I feel like I have to really work on it because it's just so stressful. I mean, just the everything that's going on in the world. I mean, aside from there's my dog barking. My poor dog barks all day, and I don't know if he barks all day when I'm not here or
Mm-hmm.
there's everybody's home and they dare to walk in front of our house. So he spends a lot of time barking, which is also a little bit nerve-wracking. But um I just feel very grateful and lucky that I can work from home too when my kids go to sleep or they're old enough now where they don't need as much direction or they don't need to be with me all day long. So I can, they can go off and do their own thing. My daughter's actually doing her theater class now on Zoom, which has been amazing. She's been taking her dance, voice, piano, everything on Zoom.
That's
My
amazing.
my son has been doing soccer drills with his coaches and just YouTube videos and also having his piano lessons by Zoom. And he's outside playing with my husband right now. Um, so I had some time. Um, and I've set up my home studio, so that's looking very different because I haven't worked from home in a long
Mm-hmm.
time. And I've also introduced new things into my practice. I'm drawing every day, something that
That's
Um,
amazing.
I do have a journal practice that's um, sort of how I start my studio work all the time, like every day. Every time I'm in my studio, I start just like getting down ideas, and whether it's writing or painting or something. But I've been drawing just because I don't have the materials and the space to do my regular work, and that's
Hmm.
actually pushed me so much in a way that has been really challenging, but also really fun for me. So I'm trying to make the best of it. I mean, it doesn't look anything like my regular life. I mean, I'm not my parents, I'm not my children's teacher, you know, I'm not somebody who likes to be home all the time.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and there's like a lot, you know, I have like a lot of housework, and which all things that I do anyway, just
Hmm.
like spread out more. Um, so, you know, it's challenging, but I feel like I'm growing from it. And like I said, I feel like we're all sort of getting used to this new normal, and trying to stay positive, especially, you know, my kids are young. So, I want to stay positive for them because I feel like it's so important that they see that we're okay.
Yes.
Even in moments when I really don't feel okay and I feel sort of anxious and I don't have a way to like channel that. You know, if I'm honest, like some days are really hard. Like I, you know, I miss my parents. I'm worried about my family. You know, I'm worried about
Hmm.
people. Like you know, I have friends who are frontline workers, and I just am worried like about our world and everything, and the you know the climate here in the U.S. And I just I you know, I just have to stay positive for them too. So that's also work, but it's you know, it's just trying to stay positive and taking it day by day and
Hmm.
getting so much inspiration from people doing amazing things online, like the artist community, and feeling so inspired by people, and you know, little things throughout the day that are helping
Hmm.
keep me positive and focused. And you know, and
Yeah, and I'm
when
really glad that you're trying to stay positive because a lot of shows, exhibitions were canceled, and I know that
yes.
one of your studio tours was canceled too. So how do you cope with the feeling of disappointment for that?
Uh, well, you know, I had three shows that were supposed to be between the spring and the summer that were
Hmm.
canceled, and there was one thing that was in the works that, um, you know, I don't even talk about it because it was not anything that was set in stone yet, but it could have, you know, it could have been something really big for me, and that was obviously canceled as well before it even got started for me because I wasn't even involved yet. And yes, our I'm a member of an organization here where I live and work, and we have an annual studio tour every year, and it's my favorite weekend. You know, we have it's Saturday and Sunday, and artists in across four different towns open up their studios, and it's just a really fun event, and it's a great way to get to know the other artists in my building, and you know, people do collaborate and do things
Hmm.
together, and you know, buses of people come in from New York City so they can, you know, visit artist studios. And for me, like it's just a fun way to meet new people and open up my studio doors. My practice is so solitary. I don't you know, I'm working every day out of my studio, and I don't see anybody. So it's a nice way to sort of like open that door and just let people come in, and it was obviously canceled. And I'm so disappointed. But you know, again, like I'm trying to stay positive. I did collaborate with the organ. It's called River Arts. You
Hmm.
guys should look them up. It's you know, at River Arts, and there's so many amazing people to discover on their account. And I did a Instagram takeover last week, and then actually on my IGTV a couple months ago, I shared a video of my studio. So I've been sharing that. So it's not the same. And it's actually funny because like a lot of the work that I showed on my IGTV on that video was incomplete, and now it's
Hmm.
finished. So you know, I'm just trying to make the best of it. You know, like this just that's it. Like, it is very I'm very disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, it's very upsetting. I mean, you know, two of the shows were in New York. You know, one of them was in Toronto.
Hmm.
And so I feel very disappointed, but I also think that I have to not let myself go down that sort of spiral rabbit hole because I have a tendency to do that. And like I try to be confident, but I also feel like it's totally normal in human nature to feel
Mm-hmm.
insecure and to feel disappointed. And that's okay too. Like those are important feelings to have, you know, the upset and the
Yes.
and so I can't ignore that, you know, if you can push those feelings down, but the only thing it's going to do is that when they come up to the surface, it's like an explosion. So I'd rather just like, as hard as it is, face them head on and just say, okay, that really sucks. Obviously, I'm not happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are way bigger problems in the world. And like, if it's meant to be with those shows or anything else, then I guess it's going to happen. And, you know, financially, it's a huge hit this year. I know that art is not a priority for people maybe right now. It's a luxury all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and especially now. Um, so I'm just trying to make the best of it. I mean, you can't plan for anything like this.
Yeah, and a lot of people commented like join the club
Oh
with
yeah, I
all the
saw that.
canceled shows.
I'm sorry, Maria. I know it's terrible. Wait, I want to see what anybody else said.
Yeah,
It's like it
it's
stinks.
for everyone. And like one
Yeah.
of the questions I would like to ask you, how do you think the art world will change? Because it's changing right now. Are we gonna go into digital? Any galleries will close and not open after this whole COVID-19 situation.
hmm I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I think that at least for like the next couple of years, like how can we gather? You know, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you know, Freeze and a bunch of other shows were coming to New York in the fall. I mean, I'm sorry, in the spring, next month. And, you know, Basel, and I mean, there's so many
Yes.
shows around the world, like you can't gather, people can't gather. Um, you know, in New York, like Thursday nights, those
Mm-hmm.
are you know, gallery nights. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, you can probably say more about that aspect of the business than I can. But I don't know. I mean, as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely open to working with anybody who wants to work with me virtually. I mean, I do work with you know, my art dealers. They are still running their online auctions,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I do sell my work on other platforms, like, you know, Artsy is a huge platform for
Mm-hmm.
galleries, so I imagine that they'll be going down those routes. I don't know about, you know, brick and mortar galleries. I mean, I can only imagine that there's going to be some, um, you know, I can't say for sure. Like the bit that side of the business, you know, is something that I'm, you know, not 100% familiar with, although I have worked with a lot of galleries, you know, so I guess time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they people can stay afloat, or they rely on their clientele and you know, virtual shows. I know that two of the shows that I was going to be doing in New York with the Association of Women Artists, they're going to be. Sorry about my dog. My dog's freaking out
That's
right now.
okay.
Somebody's walking across the street and he's really upset about it. Serenity now. The barking. Um, they're going to try to do the shows virtually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hopeful that you know, I'm guessing that that's the way that other galleries are going to go. So I guess
Yeah.
we'll see. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
And there are so many online calls for art right now and a lot of free ones. Do you still apply or you're just focusing
Um,
on painting?
to be honest, I haven't been applying to anything recently. Um, I guess I should. I guess my head's not really in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do some more research on that. I would love to. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I've been curious to hear what other people are doing. I mean, I would love to continue. I'm a very big advocate for applying to calls. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's so important just to have your work out there, and it's nice to have your work seen by different people. Um, so I'm always open to it, especially if they don't cost anything to send your
Yes,
work to. And you know, that happens too because they don't have to pay anybody. It's, you know, if they're going to host it on their online platform, I mean, they have to pay for their
absolutely.
platform. But I would definitely be curious to see if other people are doing that. Because I like I said, I'm very I'm like huge proponent of sending your work to different for different calls. And it's a great way to have your work seen, and it's also can be
Mm-hmm.
great for your CV if you need to build it up, and you know, to have your work hanging in different venues and open yourself up to different audiences and different networks, I think is so important.
Absolutely. So Monica, thank you very much for joining me live today.
Thank you.
I really appreciated you
This
being
was
with
so
us.
fun.
Yes, and sharing your experience. Stay well, stay safe,
Absolutely.
stay positive.
Thank you. Look at all these people. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Liza. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Okay, let me remove Monica. So let me call Julie from Toronto. And I hope you're enjoying the live so far. I've been having so much fun. Okay. Julie is here. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you finally, virtually. Unfortunately, we can't meet each other in person, but we will soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining me live. And this is the beautiful studio you have behind you.
Yeah, I tried to give you a little, a little context of where I work and some of my art, just so you could see.
Absolutely. So tell us more about what you do, how you've been coping with everything that's happening right now.
Absolutely. So to give you, I guess, a little bit of context, I had art very much on the back burner for probably close to a decade, which is unheard of. But I started, I guess, my really serious art practice back in Montreal. And had really great networks of artists in Montreal. And since I moved to Toronto, I started my family right after I moved back. And so I was dealing with a lot of change at the time. I was a new mom, newly married, new home, new city, and not really connected with the art world whatsoever. So my art practice got very much backburnered for about a decade, which is embarrassing. But so right before this all hit, I was coming out of the woodwork. Like my creative soul was exploding, and I was getting ready to, I like to call it, have like my artistic rebirth in the city of Toronto. It was time. Like it was way overdue. My husband's like, you need to, be an artist again. So, and it was true. So I had worked up this huge collection of work, and I was getting ready to have my solo exhibition here in the city when this hit. So it was funny. I knew at one point we knew we'd have to reschedule, but I think the part that was so difficult is the unknown. It's still so open-ended. So I had this huge body of work that I was so excited about, and it's obviously very colorful and celebratory. So it felt like I wasn't sure where it fit at the time, because you know how a lot of times your art is connecting to the context of now, and my celebratory, beautiful, colorful art felt a little awkward. So I didn't know what to do with it. And so I feel like I sat with the realization that the show wasn't going to happen the way I had envisioned. And I had all these friends and family coming to support me and really excited. And I had to let go of the idea of this show as I had thought about it in my head, which very much included people being there, people seeing the work in person. So it took me a while. I very much, had to sit with that for a while, and the disappointment that just I felt was starting to really settle in. And I thought, the show can't happen the way I expect, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. So I had to grapple with that and then go, okay, how can I still make this happen in the context of now? Because it could still happen in a different context, and that's online. So it took me a bit. I rethought about this. I thought, okay, this is fine. We can do this. And I put all the work online in a pre-sale. So right here on Instagram, I thought, I don't have to overthink this. I don't have to attach myself so much to that idea that my art goes on the back burner another decade. Like that would be the ultimate, right? So I thought, instead of doing that again, let's just adapt and see what happens. So I did that, and I sold 14 of my 21 pieces within an hour.
Amazing.
Of that online set, which is unheard of, right? And I think what surprised me the most about that was the fact that my audience and collectors, they gave me so much trust that they felt they could purchase without even seeing that art in person, which I found very, very moving. And it kind of changed the way I was thinking about the gallery. So that's sort of how I'm finding myself in this field.
Yeah, a lot of people sending congrats to you. You did a really great job.
Yeah, I mean, I was very much surprised. It was a really wonderful surprise, and yeah, it was wonderful.
And congratulations again. And tell us more about how you're trying to stay positive and paint.
Absolutely.
It's so tough for everyone.
It is. And so I'll go back to that point I made about the fact that I was feeling like my art didn't have context right now, because it feels like a very challenging, difficult, sometimes somber time for people. People are dealing with a lot of heavy stuff. And so I felt my art didn't fit. But after a few weeks of being in it all together and talking with people and having lots of conversations, I'm finding it's actually the exact time people need bright, uplifting, powerful work that, you know, they say art is the highest form of hope, right? Like, I forget who said that, but it's true. Like, if there's any time in the world that we need positive creativity and self-expression, it's now. So I found it as a way to fuel myself. Like, no, this is not the time to stop. I mean, this is the time to share more and show people the process and things like that. So I had to recontextualize it in a way that I was saying, yeah, of course people need things. And maybe it's not so much that people need to purchase my art right now, but maybe they need to see it. Maybe they need to consume something lighter and fresh and colorful right now. Right?
Absolutely. And a lot of people are sending comments that your art is beautiful and amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And
That's
very
wonderful.
Uplifting.
Yeah.
And question again, are you doing the business side of being an artist? Do you apply to shows? Do you look for exhibitions?
Yeah, so it's funny, now that exhibition didn't happen, I was thinking that I would still show the work, but now that most of it is sold, I'm thinking I'll make a new collection. So I actually started a new series, which is aptly named The Quarantine Diaries.
Very
so
nice.
I feel I made a piece, actually. This isn't really a piece, but I made it. And it's not to make light of the topic, but just to have...
Oh my God.
Here's my mask. Not very, a germ would
it's very colorful.
Think she's already sick. Leave her alone. So I am finding ways to keep myself positive. I am applying to things online. I'm doing a lot more, I guess, showing my work in the process online a lot more as well. And yeah, I have a space for an exhibition as soon as this is all over. So I'm definitely still creating. And I'm getting into some mural work. So I've seen this one call for artists to paint a mural in their home. So my poor husband, I'm like, which wall can I have in the home to just go crazy? So
yeah, and you can use your mask while making the mural.
Yeah. So
that's amazing. And let's finish by giving an advice to other artists of what to do, how to react, and how to stay positive.
I would say my advice is to lighten up with your art practice. I think there's so much right now that is serious and is heavy. We don't need to take ourselves so seriously. So for myself, that meant if my kids wandered into their room and I was painting, I wouldn't make it such a hands-off thing. I'm integrating them as well. Like this painting behind me here, my son came in and he wanted to help. So, you know, I had to let go a little bit, and maybe I don't give him full reign of the canvas, but I say, add a little yellow here and I'll mix it in, and just lighten up a bit and find ways that the people around you online and in your own home can be with you in the creative process, because it's very uplifting for people who even don't contextualize themselves as artists, because, you know, creativity can lift your spirits even if you don't call yourself an artist. So I'd say find ways to share that creativity with others.
Love it. And thank you, Julie, very much for sharing your story and sharing your art. It's amazing. It's uplifting. And please keep sharing it with us on social media. We all need it right now.
I hope so. Yeah. Okay. It was really great talking to you.
Absolutely. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julie, again. And let's call Robbie from California. Let's wait for her to join. Hi, Robbie. How are you?
Good. Is this okay?
Yes, we can see and hear you. So tell us more about what you do, how you're trying to stay positive and creative during this time.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. I mean, as far as the kind of art or the reason that I do art, you know, is to emotionally help myself and also share that, you know, that whatever comes out with other people. But I feel like I've been really working on the back end, the business of art, and this time has, you know, Julie was mentioning back burner stuff. I feel like some of the projects that I've had on the back burner saying, oh, I'll get to it. It's, you know, the silver lining has been that it's opened up the time for me to pay attention to those, as well as the back end and working on my website, because if everything is, or even if it's temporarily going digital, I would like to be able to still share my work, even if it's physically. And so the way that I've been dealing with it, you know, I try to get in the studio as much as possible. I'm very lucky in that, you know, I already have my studio close to home. So, you know, thankfully I didn't have to make that change, you know, so, but I'm not getting in there as much because I'm doing all this other work, and I am submitting my work again, you know, I think it's great for exposure. And even if you don't get selected, it's still, you know, as I've said before, it's still planting a seed, but it's also getting in front of the jurors.
Absolutely.
And so you may not get selected for a particular thing, but they will be that much more familiar with your work for something possibly later down the line.
Absolutely. And when you go to the studio, do you usually pre-plan what you will be painting during the day, or it's just in the moment of how you feel?
Well, I do both things. I mean, sometimes I'll just go in there, I just feel like I need to do something and, you know, take off any, you know, guidelines or anything and just do. But even then I have an idea and I go in, you know, just, and more times than not, I don't produce the idea. It's like something else. But because I am working on a specific collection or collections, you know, there is some parameters that I create with sometimes, but then other times, like, okay, I just have to do something, and I'll put on, you know, probably most likely either some music or some self-help or something. And I almost do it sometimes so that I can get saturated with that kind of information and
yes,
captive audience, because I'm working on my whatever piece I'm creating and absorbing what I'm listening to.
Yeah, and you've been very active on your social media right now. So share with us, what are your tips and tricks on how to stay active on social media and promote your art during this time when people don't buy it? A lot of people don't buy it now. Yeah,
well, you know, my response to tragedy is infuse comedy somehow. Make people laugh in the midst of this craziness, you know. So, you know, I took off my clothes and made a naked art video, but, you know, I mean, not being totally naked. So I just combined the entertainment aspect and work. And because I am quarantined to my home, I thought I'm going to share my work and take photographs and videos of my work just around my house, and just, you know, trying to make that my own virtual gallery for right now. I mean, I will, you know, I mean, and I'll be having my work on other galleries, and I think that's really exciting because it can be global, you know, that it's not, you know, obviously there's nothing like a physical gallery and and that's wonderful, but we, you know, I just feel like it's important for me to go with the flow and, you know, navigate this however however best I can.
Absolutely. And then on one of your latest posts, you mentioned that your works are waterproof. Can I share with us what do you mean by that?
Well, because the canvas that I work on for these pieces is aluminum, so it doesn't rust. And then I paint with resin, so it's completely waterproof. So I made a video that I posted today, and I took a piece of my work in the hot tub and submerged it. And yeah, I love that because I try to, be nice to reach out to other markets and post, and it can be, displayed outside, because if we are going to spend a lot more time at home, and if we have an outside, we can utilize the walls outside, and the work will be able to sustain the weather. I have
Absolutely.
the outside of our house.
And do you think that the art world will change, or is changing right now, and will be more into digital world?
Yes, I think it will be digital for, I don't think it will stay completely digital forever, but that we will just, I just see it as a phase that will definitely happen, where galleries will definitely be more online. And the cool thing about the technology that we have right now, as far as Zoom and other things like that, or this, is that, okay, if you can't necessarily feel and see all the, the textural aspects of a piece, you can do more of a live thing like this and show it in person, so that they can get a better understanding of what that piece possibly feels like and looks like. Do you know what I mean? So yes, it's one step removed from being there, but it's the next best thing, really.
Absolutely. So Robbie, let's finish by giving one piece of advice to all the artists who are watching right now. What they should do, how to stay positive.
I would just say, any fears or doubts or anything, just put it all into your work, whatever that looks like. And that's why we do what we do, to express where we are at a given time. And I would just suggest to keep going. Don't stop. Don't lose faith. It's going to be okay.
Absolutely. That's an amazing advice. And Robbie, thank you very much for joining me today. Stay well, stay safe, and stay positive, and keep creating.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I want to thank all the artists, Monica, Julie, and Robbie, for being my guests on this live today. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you learned something new today. I hope this video was entertaining and uplifting in a way, so you don't feel alone if you're staying at home alone. Thank you everyone. So again, I'm going live every Thursday at 5 p.m. If you're an artist who is watching this video and you would like to be on my next lives and chatting and sharing your story and your experience, please direct message me, because I would like to talk with as many artists as possible, to share your story, share your experience with others, because I hope it helps a lot. And thank you. A lot of people write that it was very informative. And as for me, I totally think that the art world is changing. A lot of people are going digital. A lot of galleries are doing virtual exhibitions right now. Thank you. Why just artists? Okay, if any gallery owners or any person in the art industry or any creative in general, please join me. And thank you, that's a very good point. Would love to chat with you all. And in terms of, yes, a lot of galleries are going digital, a lot of online galleries are happening, and I feel so sorry for every gallery who are like brick and mortar gallery who has their space closed right now, and they have rents, they have bills coming up. It's so tough, and it's happening for a lot of industries right now. But I hope this will we will go back to normal soon. We are all in this together. As long as we stay home, as long as we practice social distancing, and think about other people. Like for myself, my brother, he works in a hospital. So I know how this whole situation is happening, how hard they're working to help everyone who might be suffering right now. So stay well, everyone. Stay positive. Keep creating. And thank you very much again for joining this live. I recorded it, so I will try my best to upload it to highlights. And I'll probably edit it to my YouTube channel. I don't have a lot of videos yet there. I just have one video interview with Toronto-based artist Sarah Phillips. So let's maybe start a new video series where I will be sharing this conversations on YouTube and in my highlights. I will let him know. Thank you very much. So everyone, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and see you next Thursday at 5 p.m. Bye-bye.